Everyone, the same copy I'm giving online also. I'm sharing the same copy. Let us go to this XML. What was your JNTU definition for XML? Extensible markup language. Now what was this? It just looks like it's a tag based, but the tags are not defined. You are to self-describe it, like how you define your HTML, like H1, like you got Apex Visual Force programming, Apex page block section is a tag, where all those tags are defined by Visual Force. But here you are also going to use a tag based, but your tags are self-describing. You need to define your own tags and use it. So XML is a self-describing language. Basically, what is the purpose of this? It is also one of the format of exchanging the data. It is also one of the format using which we can exchange the data. It is a self-describing language. It is supported by every language, every database. It is supported by all the platforms. So it is a XML stands for extensible markup language. It's just like your HTML, okay. But the only point is self-describing. What is the purpose of it? What is the purpose of it? Purpose is exchanging the data or describing the data. Now it is a self-describing. So at the back end, it uses a DTD. So DTD is old format. Now everybody is using the schema. So DTD to specify the structure of your DOM. But today everybody is going with a schema structure. This is a basic definition of your XML. But if you look at our regular format, every XML will start with XML, question mark XML. Now version 1.0, first version and last version. XML 1.0. Encoding, in which format you want to encode, UTF-8 or UTF-32, will be different formats. It's up to your choice. But every XML will start with a question mark, XML version 1.0. Every XML will start with a question mark, XML, okay, 1.0, and your encoding. Now, when you are defining the XML, it is going to have only one root element. Every XML file is going to have only one root element. Simple example, Apex page. It is also XML. When I started giving the Visual Force, I told you first definition. Every element in the Visual Force page should obey strict XML format. Am I right? This is the first definition what we have seen at the time of learning the Visual Force. Every element in the Visual Force page should be in the form of strict XML format. Now, if you look at this Apex page, how many Apex pages I can give? Only one. There should be only one root element. It can have number of chain elements. Child, subchilds, now the depth of this path is up to your choice. The depth of this path is up to your choice. Within the section item, I can have multiple elements here. So what was this? If you look at this structure, what is the root element we had? What is the root element? We had a page block. Page is a root element, and a page block is a child element. Page block section is a grand child. Page block section item is a grand child. Within that, we can have. So XML. In the XML, there should be only one root element. Second point. Every element here we are speaking, this is called a node. What we call it as? Everything is called a node. And there should be only one root node. Every element is one node, and there should be only one root node. Okay. Next. What is the next point here? When you go to XML, there should be XML is a case sensitive. When you say XML, it is a case sensitive. Even when you go to Visual Force, it is a case sensitive in terms of element. Look at the point. Now, if I give apex page, I can give capital page, no issue. But if you give capital page, closing also should be capital page. It is a case sensitive. Now we are not speaking case sensitive in terms of P should be small or capital. I am not saying P should be small or capital. If I give both P capital, it's 100% right. It is not case sensitive in terms of element. It is not case sensitive in terms of element. But if you have an element with a capital P, closing also should be with a capital P. If you go with a small p, it says it is not properly nested. It is not properly nested. Are you getting my point here? So every element in the XML is case sensitive. Every element in the XML is case sensitive, and they should be properly nested. What do you mean by properly nested? Let us see. I give apex form. If I give page block, can I do this? What was that? Inner element should be closed first, followed by outer elements. Inner element should be closed first, followed by outer element. What is the inner element? Root, parent, child. So the child should be closed first. Inner element should be closed first, followed by outer elements. This is properly nested. When you define XML, inner element should be closed first, followed by outer elements. That's what I have given here. So look at the documentation, what I am going to give you. So there are how many elements? 4 elements. Right. For these 4 elements, who is the root? Note is the root, and child elements are 2 from heading body. Right. Then next, root. Look at the format. When you are looking at this, bookstore is a node or an element, category is a attribute. Now we are going for a visual force. Page block. As you already know, visual force, I am just trying to compare with visual force. Now, what is the element we had? Page block is the element. And all these are what? Attributes. Element, attributes. Element page, element form, element page block, attributes, XML, help title, help URL. These are called attributes. And this is example. It is a text node. Now, apex page is a node, apex form is a node, page block is a node. This is example is text node. This is example is what? Text node. Title attribute, help title attribute, help URL attribute, dir attribute. Are you clear? Are you clear? So why are you giving apex colon? Element is page. Name of the element is page. Name of the element is form. Name of the element is page block. Then why are you giving apex colon there? It is a namespace. Why are you giving namespace? Why are you giving namespace? Why are you giving a namespace? To remove the naming convention. Any problem? Any problem? Right. పైసలు కట్టి నేర్చుకుంటాం జాగ్రత్తగా ఒళ్ళు దగ్గర పెట్టుకుని నేర్చుకో రైట్ రైట్ సో వాట్ we have namespace. When you have a namespace here, to remove the conflict of the naming, now let us say I have student. Now I have employee. Now when I give a name, they told maximum length is 20 characters. Should start with capital. They say maximum length. Now there are attributes. Maximum length 30. Should start with the small. Right. Now we have this structure. Now when I say name, there are two elements. Which name you are referring? I have a property called name where one element has a maximum length of 20. Should start with capital. I have one more name where it says maximum length is 30. Should start with small. When I say name, which name are you referring? When I say name, which name are you referring? So there is a conflict of interest. So to avoid this conflict, they said they are using some namespace. What is that? Let us say capital : student. Capital : here also they are giving, let us say I gave some namespace like this. Now I am saying, boss, if you want to know the meaning of this name, go to capital and find out the definition of the name. When I say name, what's the definition of what is this name? The definition of the name is defined in the capital namespace. So go to capital, find out what is the meaning of name, that properties will be applied here. So when I am calling, I will call capital name. When I call, I will call Wipro name. When I say capital name, properties defined in the capital will come for this name. When I say Wipro name, properties defined in the Wipro will come to this. So because there are two elements with a name, with the name, with the attribute name. When I am saying a name, there is a conflict, there is an ambiguity, which I am calling. There is a reason they give namespace. So in the XML also, we have, when you are defining a multiple elements, there is a possibility that two elements may have same name. To remove that conflict, people have gone for the namespace. Now when you go for a namespace, where are those definitions defined? I told, if you want to know what is the meaning of name, go to capital and find out. Now go to capital and find out. What will be given in the capital? Schema will be defined. What will be given in the capital? Schema will be defined. What that schema will tell? The properties of this element. What do you mean by name? What is the data type? What is the sequence? Do you need to follow order of element? Do you need to follow any validation rules? So the meaning of the element, properties of the element are defined within the schema. When you go to that namespace, in that namespace, the schema will be defined. What that schema will do? Schema will specify data type of the element, validations in the element, order of the element, or any limitations, maximum occurrence, minimum occurrence, required value, not required value, maximum 45, minimum 35. If you have any limitations or validations, they will be defined in the schema. Are you getting? There is a reason why we got apex colon. What is that apex is now? Namespace. Apex is what? Namespace. Now basically, namespace will not be named like this. Namespace will be a URL. Namespace will be what? URL. But I cannot every time give the URL like this. HTTPS www.capitalinfo.com. I have to give. Every time I cannot give lengthy name like this. There is a reason what they have done. For this URL, they gave a shortcut name called capital. Okay, we discuss this namespace and schema when you go to visual files. But right now, understand it is a namespace. I hope you're good. So when you're going for a schema, look at this. Now, can you define, trying to compare with the VF page boss so that you know both the definitions. Okay. Now, in the Visual Force pages, you'll be able to create a Visual Force component, right? Okay. Now, I give what is the component name? Try to understand why I have given that schema, why that namespaces are given. Look at this. Now already we have an element called apex page. Already we have an element called apex page. We had one component called apex page, right? Now I'm using look at this. Now the definition of page under the namespace of apex is different. You're using apex colon page. The definition of a page under the namespace of apex is different. The definition of a page under the namespace of C is different. Under the namespace of C, the definition of the page is what? Taking EMP name, taking the value called color, it is going to print some message. But the definition of page under the namespace of apex, it is different. Right? It is a root element. Every VF page should start with apex page. It is a root element. But my C colon page is different. So where is the definition of this page defined? Definition of the page is defined under the namespace of C. Now you go to C, find out what is the meaning of that page. If I give like this, go to apex namespace, find out what is the meaning of page. Are you clear about this? Are you clear? There is a reason why we got a namespace colon element. In the XML, in some of the cases, we will be using namespaces. And the definition of this namespace, we need to go to that element and find out what is the meaning. I hope you are good. So what is the purpose? If I don't use this, if I don't use apex page or C colon page, simply if you give page, which page has to come? There is an issue with that. To avoid that issue, we are going for namespace. So XML may also have namespace and schema definitions. But we will discuss this namespace and schema definition in detail when you go to visual file. Right now, if you find any XML file with namespaces like this, it is also an XML. So everything that you write in the VF page is XML. Other than script. Anything that you write is XML. I hope you're good. So your VF page is the best example of your XML. The complete lightning is XML. I hope you are good with this. Okay. Now come back to the definition now. So if you look at this, what we have? Root element, book is the element, category is attribute, title, language is attribute, author, year, price. I hope you are good with this. Is a self-describing structure. Now, as I told you, they are case sensitive. If I give capital M, closing also should be capital M. If I give small m, closing also should be small m. Why this is incorrect? I give capital M, I give small m, so incorrect. Now, inner element should be closed first, followed by outer elements. So I give BI The closing should be what? IB, but I gave BI, so it's another BI, IB. Inner element should be closed first, followed by outer elements. Okay. I hope you are good with this format. Basic structures are clear. So in the XML, what we have, it is a case sensitive, self-describing, and if you want to know the meaning, you can go with a DTD or schema. There are two ways in which we can define the structure of the data. One is a DTD, other one is schema. DTD is outdated one. Now everybody has schema. Okay. Now if you are going for a schema, the concept of namespace will come. Okay, where namespace colon element, where the schema will give definition of every element and the properties of every element, validations on every element. I hope you are good with this. I hope everyone is good. Clear for everyone? Right? Okay. Chalo. Now, for the JSON, if you want to create a JSON, we had a built-in class. What was that? JSON class is there. JSON generator is there. JSON parser is there. Similarly, for XML also, we have some predefined classes. What are they? DOM, document, XML node. DOM is the namespace. Under the system namespace, we had JSON class, JSON generator, JSON parser. Am I right? Where are these classes defined? System.json, system.json generator, system.json parser. These three classes are defined under the namespace of system. Similarly, document class, XML node class are defined under the namespace of DOM, DOM, DOM. Under the namespace of DOM, we have document class, XML node class. So what is the form of DOM? Document object model. Okay, let us see this. If you want to create any XML, now let us compare with JSON, as you already know JSON. In the JSON, what we do? First, write start object, write end object. So every JSON should start with object, end with object. That is the reason we wrote JSON dot write start object, JSON dot write end object. Similarly, in the XML, we have to write always root element first. Create root element. Every element is what? One node. For that node, we are going to add child elements. Add a root element, add a child element. When you are creating a root element, there will be three elements here. What was the three elements? Name of the element, namespace of the element, prefix of the element. Name, namespace, prefix. Name, namespace, prefix. This is the reason why we had a 5 to 10 minutes discussion about namespace. Why? Because programmatically, if you want to create an element, there are three parameters what we have to pass. Name of the element, namespace of the element, and prefix of the element. Name, namespace, prefix. Okay. Name, namespace, prefix. Okay. Let me give you this. Go with this. So look at this. First, DOM dot document now this document, which is in the form of DOM, I want to convert into string. So result dot to XML string. We have a method called XML string. So to XML string. So in the JSON we use get as string. Here we have to XML string. to XML string. I'm not writing anything else. Simply I have defined DOM.document converting into XML. So what is the result we are getting? What did I receive? Question mark, XML version encoding. I don't have any elements, but every XML document will start with XML version and encoding. We didn't add any data to the XML. We just created a DOM document, converted the document into XML. Okay, into string. Then I told create a root element. Document dot create. Let us say student. Namespace I am not giving anything. Prefix also I am not giving anything. Right now I just created a root element, student, null and null. We had element called student. We created a root element. But to the root element, I have to add child elements. So the moment you create a root element, whatever the element that is created, that is referred as XML. Why did I create that? Why I am referring that root element? Because to the root element only I have to add child. Whatever the root element is created, that node is referred as root. So to the root, what I am doing? Root dot add child. Add a child. So what I am giving? Name. Then I'm going root dot add child. For the root, child element 1, child element 2, child element 3. What we have? Student, name, age. Now, to the name I want to add few more child elements. So how do you refer the name element? DOM dot. This is the element. To this element we are adding name dot add. I am going to refer DOM dot fname equal to name dot last name equal to name dot add. This is how I create. So go back here. So student, under the name we had first name, last name. Now we don't want only elements I am adding. I am not adding the data. So where should I add? I want to add a data. What is it? Fname dot add. Then last name. What is the node? Last name. Add X node. You want to add child element. Age. If you want to refer to this, DOM dot how do you do it? Age dot add. Why? It is expecting the data in the form of what? String. It is expecting the data in the form of string. You need to convert into string and give it. So we have name, first name Satish, last name Maila, Then close the name, age. I'll give it an organized structure. This is the structure. Name, close, child elements, age. So entire data is represented in the form of what? String. Okay. Now you want to set the attributes. How do you set the attributes? No, I want to add first attributes. City dot set attribute. We give address. We give city. City dot set attribute. Now that should be converted in the form of string. So what was that? Create a root element, add the child element, add the text nodes, add the attribute. At the end of the game, this is only what we are going to use, nothing more than this. If you understand these 4 functions, that is done with Excel. It's done, saved already. Okay. This is what we got. So address, city, address, state TC. What we do? Root element student, child element name, child element age, child element address. For the name we created child elements. Then we added text node. Then we added attribute. At the end of the game, this is what we can do. Nothing else. At max, what we can do is add comments. Add comment. At max, what we can do? Add comments. So what are the functions we have? Create a root element, add a child element, add the value, set the attribute, set the comments. Go back. So what we have? We got a comment. This is current. I hope everyone is good. Right? Create a root element, take that node, for the node add the child elements, add the text node, add the text node, pass. I hope you are good with this. Shall we do one example? People have followed. Let us do one example. Create this structure, boss. Okay, just create this example. One basic structure if we create, everything is clear. The only thing is parent, child, add child, add child. Depth will increase. Only the depth will increase. Rest of the concept is same.
Satish, I have one question. This
Yeah.
XML, the first line, the XML namespace and the version.
Okay.
So as all the Visual Force pages are also XML, but we are not writing that particular line. But here we are saying that this is mandated.
Now,
So
so
is
I
it
told internal structure is, I told Visual Force is in the form of XML.
okay? Okay.
It's not XML. It is obeying the rules of XML.
Okay.
Create the structure, everyone.
Satish, one query.
Yeah, go ahead.
See, in the second line, we doesn't have overheads. It means if we have attributes like name and city, we doesn't get overheads
I didn't get you. Could you
of
please
any
repeat the
employee.
question?
No, no. In that second line, we doesn't have overheads, right?
This one or example one?
This one also.
This null and null you're seeing.
Uh,
See, when you
see
say
for see address
no,
per address,
first
city,
point,
state, pin, we are adding it.
first point, overhead doesn't mean the values. Overheads means if you're taking a name,
Uh-huh.
Satish. Right. Now this name is a overhead for me. This is the
Yes.
data. Okay. This is the overhead for me.
Yeah, I got it. But see for address, I mean, line number 13,
Okay.
we have created city.
Hmm.
We are not getting city as overhead for that address.
It is the now I'm not speaking about attributes will not become an overhead. The structure will become an overhead. The structure is called
Uh,
overhead.
uh,
Now you're speaking about this is an attribute. This is not an element. This is a property of the element. What is
Yes,
the
that is a
element?
property.
Yeah, address is an element. For that address, we have overheads. This opening and closing is the overhead, not about the property. See, a simple definition of overhead is initial things to specify it's an element, not regarding the properties of the element. Okay. Right. So how did you define this? Tell me. First, DOM dot document document. Then DOM dot XML node root equal to doc dot create root element. What is the root element? Then we have root dot first create the child element. DOM dot XML node. Then we have, let's say, CMP, any name of your choice. Root dot add child element. For the root, we are adding a child element. What is the name? Company. Then CMP dot set attribute. Was that name right? Okay. Generally, attribute should be in small case. As per the naming convention, your attribute name should be in lower canon. Lower canon. Not small case, also lower canon. Attribute. Right. This is one child element. What is the next child element? DOM dot XML node exp equal to root dot, for the root only we are adding. Then exp dot anything plus string will become string. Anything plus string will become string. So that have become a string value. Or else you can give. I hope you are good with this. People are good. Right, boss? Then finally, what we are supposed to do? Dog dot. I hope you are good with this. Now, parent child, depth is your choice. But core concept is this. Now, how depth you go, it's up to your choice. I hope you are good. This is how we are giving a string. Once we give a string, we are going to exchange the string. I hope everyone has followed this. Right? Okay. Suppose if somebody is giving an XML, how do you take the data? Next question is. You need to parse it. If somebody is giving an XML file, how do you take the data? If somebody give a JSON string, we deserialized it. Similarly, if somebody give you XML file, how do you deserialize? I hope everybody has followed this example structure. Good with everyone? Followed Amma? Sure? Paka? Right. Chalo. Now next, let's go to the next one. If you have XML string, somebody has given you in the form of XML string. If they give you XML string, how do you deserialize, take the data? Now, this is we as a provider. If I want to send any data to third party, I will create XML string, send it to third party. Third party people will deserialize and use it. Suppose you are making a request to someone. Someone is giving you the data in the form of XML. How do you deserialize? So the question is, if somebody give you, how do you deserialize? It is a question about deserialization. Okay. So to understand this, let us take one example. So complete critical point is already given on documentation. Okay. So we'll check with whether these people have. Boss, can you call that boy? Last boy? Can you call the office boy? Hard copies are given to you? Any copy? No. Right. XML nodes ప్రింట్ చేయించలేదా కనుక్కో అక్కడ ఉందా కనుక్కో or else I'll be posting on the document folder. You can access from here. So we had a public string. So someone is giving this XML file from the input. I don't want to give a fixed one. I want the users to enter the data. So I'm going with that. So I have some just giving basic structure first. Just let me give you one more structure here. Okay, so let us look at the structure, basic structure. What was the bug here? Result I have not defined, so public string. So this is the basic structure I have defined. So I want to create some XML string here. If I give I want whatever the thing you are giving here, I want that to be customized. When I click on this button, this XML should be customized and I have to get the corresponding data. So I am going to define one XML file here. I am going to define XML string. When you click on the convert button, it should be converted into data. This is my requirement. Okay. I hope you got the requirement. I hope you got the requirement. Okay. So let us go to even 10 lines. Okay. This is my requirement. So how do you deserialize it is the question. Public void convert. Whatever the XML string we are getting, that value is in XML string. So DOM dot document load that string into document doc dot load whatever the file we got, load it. Whichever the string you want to convert, load that string into document. Whichever the string you want to convert, load the string into document. So DOM dot document dot load XML string. Then always we are supposed to get what? Root element first. If you know the root element, I can get the child. Equal to doc dot get a root element. If we get the root element, we can get the name of the root element. What was that? So equal to result plus root dot get the name of the event. Then you want to get the labels. How do you get the labels? How many childs are there? I am not sure. It may be one child or more than one child. Node childs equal to root dot get child elements. If because I know structure, I am taking if. If you don't know the structure, you take while. Because I know structure, I am taking if. If you don't know structure, take while root is not equal to null, take the element. Because I am going to know name, first name, last name, straight away I am giving if. If you are not sure, make it generic. Take a while loop and make it. If child dot size, if there are any child elements, then take a for loop, DOM dot XML node. Then I am giving result equal to C dot get name, get the name of the element, C dot get the value of the element, get name and get value or get text. Let us ignore. So get the name of the element, get the text of the element. So if there are 3 elements, 3 times loop. Okay. So go back here. I hope you are good. Simply what did I do? Loaded the string, got the root, from the root get the child. If the child has subchild, again get the childs. Right, boss? Then go to this, define the string here. Issue with this is action is the first one and the re-render FM I told. Let me copy it again. We cannot type it. Oops. So what was the bug? BR is not working. So let me go with /n. I already give it as a HTML. If I give it as a HTML text, the data will come back. So root element is name, first name, last name. I hope you got. So what we are doing, get the root, get the child, name of the child, value of the child, as simple as that. Right? Complexity depends upon the size of the data you take. I hope you are good with this. So this is how we are serializing the XML data as per your requirement. I hope you are good. So XML, JSON alone we don't use. This people are going to send a response to third party as XML or JSON. They will deserialize and take the data. Now, when I make a request, you are going to give me XML or JSON. I am going to deserialize, take the data. Once I take the data, I may insert the record, I may update the record, I may display. What you do with your data is your requirement. It is your headache. But our process is, when you make a request, you are giving a response in the form of JSON, how to capture the data. Once you take the data, with the data what you do is your headache. You may insert the record, you may update the record, you may delete the record, you may display XYZ location. It's all your process. I hope you are good with this. So what are the two ways of exchanging the data? JSON and XML. Now, when I make a request to Amazon, get me the list of products which are there on your Amazon site with a product name called iPhone. Get me a list of all the vendors who are giving iPhone, selling iPhone on your Amazon. So Amazon will send me the data in the form of XML. Now you need to deserialize the data, take the data, put it in database. Or else I have web service. Now I am also one of the vendor in the Amazon. Whatever the product I want to sell, Amazon will make a request. Satish, any new updates on your products? Then I will be sending my data in the form of XML. That XML they will take it, upload in the Amazon as a product list. Are you clear about this? Clear? So, right, boss. So you want to send or receive, it should be in the form of JSON or XML. Now the major point here is people need to understand